Two brothers, a rocket ride to stardom, then it was over. For the first time on television, former New Kid on the Block, Jonathan Knight, and the terror that drove him from the stage. You can see him struggling to hold it together. What are you feeling right now? This is a panic attack. You're okay. You're really okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Thanks. So imagine feeling like you can't breathe. Your heart is pounding, you're disoriented, and you feel like you're going to die. This is how you're probably feeling right now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, but you're going to be okay. This is how people describe a panic attack. If you are one of the 19 million Americans who suffer from an anxiety disorder, you know how absolutely terrifying it feels and what it would be like to be standing here on TV right now if you're having one, as is happening to Jonathan. For our guest today, this is their living nightmare. The fear of having another panic attack becomes so consuming that at times they can't even leave home. Jonathan Knight knows this all too well. You may remember Jonathan from one of the first boy band phenomenons of our time, New Kids on the Block. Remember? He grew up. He grew up. He grew up. So on the outside, he appeared to have it all. And on the inside, many days he was feeling, as you can see him, struggling today to hold it together. This is Jonathan's first time talking about this on television. Take a look. Their squeaky clean good looks help sell everything from posters to pillowcases. But behind the scenes, one of the boys was secretly struggling with a crippling disorder. Jonathan Knight was suffering from panic attacks. So severe, so devastating, he could barely function.
The whole New Kid stage was crazy. The more it grew, the more I just felt like I was trapped. I just always had this feeling inside me and just always being nervous and afraid of situations. The hardest thing for me was really just doing interviews, doing talk shows.
Jonathan, I didn't see you speaking up. Is it because you're still sort of shy and retiring? Is that it?
Yeah, kind of. Photo sessions, being in the studio, just because you're with so many different people, you just get shaky, your heart just starts pounding, you know, dry mouth, like a little bit of what I have right now. The easiest thing for me was to avoid situations.
Thank you. When Jonathan could no longer cope with the debilitating panic attacks, he up and quit one of the most successful musical groups in history.
We were in Spain, and it just really hit me. I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to be home. I don't want to be around this situation anymore. It's causing me, you know, just so much stress and so much anxiety.
At age 23, Jonathan became a recluse and disappeared from any sort of public life. He moved to a farm in the country where he still lives today, coping with his panic disorder.
From 1994 to 1997, I did nothing. I slept and slept and slept. If I was awake, I had to deal with things. I had to do things. And in order to avoid that, I would just stay in bed. You go through the whole thing, too, of like, I'm weird, I'm strange, you know, and it just makes your whole self just shrink down even more, and I think it just makes it all worse.
So how are you feeling right now?
I'm good now. I'm
Better?
good now.
Better?
Yes, you should have been backstage in the green room, but I'm fine.
What did you have to do? I think it's so brave of you to be here because there are a lot.
Actually, that was one of the reasons why I came. I just wanted to prove that I could do this, and it was hard. I mean, I just came back from vacation, and my vacation was very hard. I was thinking about it every day. And
about being here, sitting in this chair?
Yeah, and I mean, it's so weird. I mean, now that I'm here, I'm fine. I feel really relaxed right now. And,
This is you relaxed?
yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Okay. So, did you have to have some kind of medication to get you to this state?
I did this morning, yes.
This is with medication?
This is with medication, yes.
When
the way to describe it is, I guess when somebody jumps out at you and you know, screams and that adrenaline just goes through your body. And for me, every day, there's all that adrenaline is just going through your body. And you just feel shaky, and it's always going through your body. It makes you really tired. And, you know, a lot of times when I get in situations that I don't want to deal with, I'll just go to bed, or I'll just go lie on the couch and just tune everything out.
So how did you survive all those years pretending not to feel this with new kids? Yeah.
I think for me, luckily I was in a group. You know, I had 4 other people with me. You know, so if we did talk shows or if we did things, you know, I had the other guys to lean on.
Did they know that you had it this bad?
I don't know. I never really talked about it. I never really talked about it.
Did you know it had a name at the time? When did you know that what you're feeling had a name?
I never really was aware of really what it was. You know, I always knew the effects, but it wasn't until 1997 that I was just like, you know, something is wrong here. I have to go talk to a doctor. And I mean, a lot of times you feel ashamed. You don't want to go talk to a doctor. You don't want to admit, you know, something is not wrong with you, but something is different.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I put that off for a long time.
So are there certain things that trigger it and other certain things trigger it? I would say coming on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
You trigger it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It made for a bad vacation because you start anticipating it even
I
on
should have
vacation.
took my vacation after this.
You still can. Be on Waikiki Beach, and what else are you feeling right now?
You know, I think that it helps knowing that what this show is about. You know, when you go on a show and if people didn't know what it was about, that makes it worse. Because if I sat here and started shaking, I would be thinking, like, you're looking at me like, is this kid on drugs? What's wrong with them? You know,
Well, if I didn't know what it was about, I would think that.
And I would be thinking, like, the audience is watching me. And then that just escalates the whole thing even more. And you just, it just starts and it just goes.
Because you think you're being judged, that's it. Right?
Yes,
You would think you were being judged. When we come back.
By 1994, the New Kids' popularity was starting to fade. The guys were frustrated with their squeaky clean image and fought to be taken seriously as artists. And Jonathan Knight was secretly dealing with the panic attacks that would drive him to leave the group. For NKOTB, it was the beginning of the end.
You went from selling out stadiums around the world, the biggest band in the world, to splitting up and people not really caring what you were doing every day anymore. How did you handle that?
I think, I know for me personally, right after it stopped, it was a big transition. I mean, you're so built up, and then all of a sudden you're like, nobody's screaming my name. But after a few years, I loved it. You know, it was like Donnie said, it was nice to be able to walk around in your underwear and not, you know, not always having you just have your privacy. You have your life.
Outside in your underwear?
I do. I walk outside in my underwear. I have no neighbors, so. Nude sunbathing. That's what I do.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about that, if I may, because you have been public in the past about saying you had some anxiety issues. So what made you decide to jump back into this, and how's it been so far?
I mean, I'm dealing with it, and you know, I'm here by choice. You know, no, I mean, I could have said no, but why would I say no? And you know, I think we're all grown up now, and I have the support. They all know where I'm coming from, so it's great. I mean, I'm still like this half the time, but I just live with it, and we'll just go down this path together.
I know that in the past you went through some issues with the panic disorder and things like that on stage. Is that all taken care of?
No,
You still get nervous?
No, it's still here. I was
totally comfortable doing this.
It's a front. No, I was nervous coming up here and having to do the red carpet and stuff, and I was whispering in Deb's ear. I was like, I'm gonna kill you. I can't believe you're making me do this. But no, I mean, I think that's just I think that's part of my whole thing. It's like, what's the big deal? Like, why do people want to talk to me? Why do people want to take my picture? Just in my heart, I'm just a guy from Boston, you know. So.